Alright, welcome back to another video. This week I'm going to be testing out a humans version of Soul Sisters. I was doing Monument for a while, and Monument's fun. I like it. I need to work on the sideboard a bit. But until then, I threw together a aggressive build with humans and Soul Sisters and life gain and aggro, all that kind of fun stuff. So let's walk through the deck a bit. We have the mana base is pretty simple. You got a lot of basic planes. You have flagstones, Ghost Quarter, a Shephet Dunes, who actually might just turn into planes. I don't know if it's really needed in this deck, but I thought I'd try it out. And Westvale Abbey, which also might not be needed. I'm not really making as many creatures as I originally thought I would. So those two might become planes, but we'll see how the testing goes with the deck. Let's move on to the 1-drops. As you can see, there's a lot of them. Not all creatures, but first start with the creatures here. And we start with Champion the Parish. You're doing humans. He's probably one of the best humans to put in. A 1-drop gets bigger each time you play something. Next, we have Serra Ascendant. This will tie into the life gain of the deck, and it's also human, which is pretty great. Then we have 4 Soul Wardens and also 4 Soul's Attendant. Okay, so I mean already we have 4, 8, 12, 16 1-drops creatures. Which is not terrible. We move on to Ajani's Pridemate. I know he's not a human, but he works way too well with the life gain to not include him. He gets pretty big pretty quickly, and it just turns into another creature that they have to answer. So if they're spending their time answering him, they're not always going to answer a champion or an ascendant. So there's a lot of must-answer threats in this deck, which I really like. We have Lone Rider, which is I know is not very common, but the one list I saw of the human Soul Sister build ran him, and the reasoning is you take out Martyr of the Sands because you don't have Squadron Hawk, so you're not really gaining. Well, you're not really having a lot of white cards in your hand, so having the one mana 1/1 isn't that great. But he flips pretty quickly. He's also a human, and he also can't get counters from Thalia's Lieutenant. And, obviously, Thalia's Lieutenant is fantastic in this deck. You can go 1-drop into double 1-drop into Thalia's Lieutenant, and you can even win games just doing that kind of aggro race. And then he also grows, or she, can't really tell, I guess. But they also grow with each creature or each human you play. Then also, thankfully, because of the price drop with Iconic Masters, we have Auriok Champion, another Soul Sister that does not die from Terminates and Lightning Bolts and Fatal Push. It's pretty great. Abrupt Decay, but she does not die except the Path to Exile. And if they're throwing a Path to Exile at her instead of your big threats, that is fantastic. So far we have 12 sisters in this deck basically to help us gain life, which is why I really wanted to include the Pridemate. And lastly, our creature here is Devoted Cropmate. And I saw this in a list, and I wanted to try it out. It's a human, which is not bad, but each time you exert it, you're bringing back a creature to the battlefield, which is not terrible. This could be, I don't know, not too cute is the word. It could not be needed at all. This might be better as like a Thalia, Heretic Cathar, maybe even a Thraben, but I don't know. I liked it. I got it out a few times. It's just a one of, but it's something that's definitely not expected, and really can shine in a deck like this. And we have a few spells then, and first is Path to Exile. Playing white, playing modern, you're playing Path to Exile. There's really not many reasons not to, unless your mana base doesn't support it. Which, if you're running that new 5-color humans deck, you're running all humans, that's understood. Lastly, we have Brave the Elements. This might not need to be in the main. Might be able to move it to the side and put something else in the main, maybe more humans. But for the time being, this is great. I mean, it's a catch-all to protect your guys. You can use it for an Alpha Strike. It's great against Anger of the Gods, Pyroclasm, random lightning bolts, random removal spells. It is still underrated and underappreciated. Also unexpected. A lot of times, people just don't expect you to have the Brave the Elements. But that is the main. It's not super fancy. It really is aggression and life gain. To really put this deck in a good place against other aggro decks, especially creature based and against burn. But let's move to the sideboard here. The sideboard is going to take some work, but for now, let's start with these. We have Dusk Dawns, and in a deck like this, I really like this card because you don't really want to wrath your dudes away. And most times, it'll only take out maybe a Pride Mate, a Champion, or an Ascendant. And if so, you get him back with Dawn. So it's not terrible. It wipes out the things you need to worry about usually. I mean, a lot of the 3-power threats, bigger things like Goyce and opposing creatures. You're not worried about their 1 or 2 power guys anyway. So this does the trick. I might actually. Someone suggested to me earlier in my Monument deck about Settle the Wreckage. And in Modern, Settle the Wreckage does not seem terrible. Holding up the 4 mana does not seem super great, I guess. But an instant speed, one-sided Wrath is not bad. And most times they're not going to have the basics to really punish you. I mean, Death Dark Path Exile is so heavily used. So we'll try this out and maybe mess with the other sweepers and see what we want to put in here. We also have Blessed Alliance. This is kind of a catch-all. It's good against Death Shadow, good against Boggles, good against Infect. I know people are playing Infect again. It has the other mode of gaining the life, which is good for your life gain and triggering that. So it's a catch-all. I like it. It's a good one of. I might increase it to 2 depending on how prevalent these decks are. We have Disenchant. I mean, there's just times you need it. Random decks in Modern you come up against, and having Disenchant is not bad. Rest in Peace. The only thing it doesn't work well with is our Devoted Crop Mate, and obviously you can side him out and put this in. But it's great against Goyf. It's great against Snapcaster Mage. It's great against Dredge. It's great against even Death Shadow. And even the new. What deck is it? The new Hollow One deck, the black-red Hollow One. Where they do a lot of discarding and there's blood gas and those things. So Rest in Peace. It seems necessary. Selfless Spirit, also against sweepers. There's not a lot of verdicts and stuff running around. Supreme Verdict or Wrath of God. So this might get cut because Brave the Elements protects against the other sweepers like Anger of the Gods and Pyroclasm. But it's not terrible, and I want to try it out. We have Stony Silence as well, Affinity, which we actually have a good Affinity matchup anyway because we're fast, aggressive, and we gain a lot of life. But in effect, is a way for them to kill us. So against Affinity, Stony Silence is great, Disenchant is great, and so is Blessed Alliance. Mind Sensor, good against Tron. We also have Ghost Quarters, which are nice. Tron can be a tough matchup if we don't win quickly. So this is what we need to do: stop them from getting the Tron lands out. Also have aggression, and try to beat them out quickly. Eidolon for Storm. This actually should be Ethersworn Canonist. I just didn't get them yet. But for now, we'll use this because Canonist is also a human. Which seems pretty good combo with the whole human theme. But he's good because Eidolon does not die to Lightning Bolt, which is nice. So there's that. Just a little too slow sometimes against Storm. Mirran Crusader has been seeing a lot of play against Death Shadow decks. Against he's great against Goyf, great against the removal, abrupt decay, and whatnot, fatal push. So he's obviously very bad as lightning bolt, but he's a human. He hits hard. Not much else to say about that. So that is the deck tech. I'm gonna try it in a few tournament practice rooms first. I just need to get to a place where the deck is comfortable before I throw away tickets and throw away money in some leagues. But I will do a league with this or the Monument deck, or even I have a basic Soul Sisters deck as well. So I will be doing a league probably within the next 2 weeks as soon as I build up my funds and whatnot. But that is the deck, and I will be back in a few minutes with a few matches.